The sun had barely risen over the quiet plains of Nebraska when Daniel Hayes pushed open the creaking doors of his small garage. The place smelled of old oil, worn metal, and memories of better days. Work had been slow, bills piled high, and his toolbox felt heavier each morning. Still, he showed up. It's what he knew. That morning, as he wiped dust from an engine block, he heard tires crunching on the gravel outside. A rusty farm truck rolled in, pulling a massive tractor behind it. The truck door opened, and a young woman stepped out, boots muddy, hair tied back, confidence in her walk. She looked barely 30, but her eyes showed she carried responsibility far beyond her age. "Morning," she said, offering a polite nod. "My tractor died on me in the middle of Field 4. No one else could figure out what happened. Someone said you were the man to see." Her tone was humble, not demanding, not entitled. She carried herself like someone who worked the land herself, not someone who supervised others doing it. Daniel appreciated that. He grabbed his tools and circled the tractor. It was a top-of-the-line model, worth more than his whole shop. He glanced at her, surprised someone who looked so young drove something like this. But he kept quiet. Work was work, and he needed this job more than he wanted to ask questions. She waited patiently as he climbed up into the engine compartment. Within minutes, he saw the problem. A manufacturing flaw, rare, tricky, and nearly invisible. Most mechanics would have blamed the owner. Daniel didn't. He explained the issue to her simply, without talking down to her. She listened closely, eyebrows raised, impressed by his calm clarity. "Can you fix it?" she asked, hope flickering in her voice. Daniel hesitated. The part needed custom welding, precise calibration, and 3 hours of labor. Anyone else would charge hundreds. He swallowed hard. "Yes," he answered. "I'll make it work." She watched him closely as he rolled his sleeves up and began working, sun starting to warm the side of the shop. She stayed, leaning quietly against her truck, observing every careful move he made. 3 hours turned into 4 as Daniel shaped, welded, adjusted, and reassembled the engine. Sweat dripped down his neck, sparks flew from the metal, but he never rushed. Perfection mattered. He treated the tractor as if it belonged to his own family, not a stranger. When he finally climbed down, oil on his face, he said softly, "Try it now." She stepped into the cabin, turned the key, and the engine roared to life with a clean, strong hum, better than it probably had straight from the factory. She stared down at him, stunned. "You fixed it," she whispered, unable to mask her relief. She climbed out, shaking her head with a smile. "No one else could. How did you even see the problem?" Daniel shrugged. "I've rebuilt engines my whole life. Most things don't need money, they just need someone to care enough to look closely." His words landed than he realized. She studied him a moment longer, as if seeing past his worn shirt and tired eyes into the kind of heart he carried. Then she asked the question he didn't expect. "How much do I owe you?" He wiped his hands on an old rag. $80. She blinked in disbelief. "That's too low." Daniel shook his head. "It's fair." She pressed her lips together, sensing he meant it, even though she knew he needed more. But she didn't argue, respecting the dignity of an honest man who refused to take advantage of anyone, no matter what their tractor cost. As she opened her wallet, Daniel noticed a sleek black card tucked inside, the kind only the unbelievably wealthy carried. But she paid him in cash, quietly, without revealing anything. She thanked him again and drove off, leaving him unaware that he had just helped one of the most influential young landowners in America, someone who could buy 100 tractors without blinking. She didn't tell him, not yet. That evening, Daniel closed up the shop and walked home to his small, aging house. The water heater leaked again, and a final notice from the bank sat in his mailbox. He sighed deeply. Mechanical genius didn't pay much when you lived in a forgotten corner of the country. Still, he replayed the young woman's grateful smile. It made the day feel lighter. The next morning, just as he reached to turn on the shop lights, he heard rumbling engines. A convoy of brand-new farm trucks rolled toward him. Workers in clean uniforms hopped out, standing respectfully to the side. And then she stepped forward. The same woman from yesterday, except now she wasn't covered in dust. She wore a crisp jacket with her company's emblem embroidered in gold. "Morning, Daniel," she said with a warm, confident grin. "I hope you don't mind visitors." Daniel blinked at the scene. "What's all this?" She reached out her hand. "I think it's time I properly introduced myself. I'm Evelyn Hart, owner of Heartland Agriculture, the largest farming operation in the US. Daniel felt the ground shift beneath him. She was that Hart. Evelyn continued, "After what you did yesterday, I had my entire engineering team look at the flaw you found. They couldn't believe it. You diagnosed what they missed for months." Daniel didn't know what to say. Evelyn stepped closer. "I came because people like you shouldn't be struggling, not when you have skills this rare." Her voice softened. "I have a proposal." She motioned toward the trucks. "I want you to lead a new division, Heartland Mechanical Innovations, full salary, full benefits, your own workshop, and the freedom to train anyone you choose. People like you deserve a platform." Daniel felt his chest tighten. Opportunities like this didn't come to men like him, not in this lifetime. "Why me?" he whispered. Evelyn smiled gently. "Because you cared. Because you fixed a tractor like it belonged to someone important, even though you thought it belonged to no one at all." Her words shook him. She reached out her hand again, patient and kind. "So, what do you say, Daniel?" He looked at her, at the trucks, at the life he had struggled to hold together. And then, with quiet disbelief but a steady voice, he answered, "I say yes." Evelyn's smile grew. "Good, let's get to work." As the morning sun rose over the plains, Daniel realized he hadn't just fixed a tractor. He had rebuilt his future without knowing it. Sometimes life changes not with a miracle, but with one honest repair done with a good heart.